Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us for part 2 of The New Norm, How the Design Industry is Adapting. I'm Kathy Bush-Dutton, the publisher of New England Home, and today we'll focus on the suppliers. If you missed part 1 of this series where we heard from the service providers, the video is available on our New England Home website under the News tab from the navigation bar. You can find the page that says Design Dialogue, and the video is loaded there. Today, we're fortunate to have 4 people here to share how they're operating their businesses during this incredibly challenging time. We have Carlotta Kuby from showroom and stone supplier Kumar. We have Danielle Jones from Kitchen and Bath Showroom, Snow and Jones, located on the South Shore. We have Pierre Mata from Kitchen and Cabinetry Design Showroom, Newton Kitchens and Design. And we have Stephanie Reed, the owner of Paragon Landscape Construction. And our moderator for today, who's returning from part 1, is Jennifer Driscoll of the PR and marketing firm Broadview Marketing. Before I turn this over to Jen, if you have any questions during the presentation, please type them into the Q&A box on the Zoom to be answered at the end of the presentation. So I'm going to disappear and I'm going to turn this over to Jen, and thanks again to our panelists and for all of you for joining us. Take it away, Jen.
Thank you, Kathy, and thanks everybody for joining us today. I'm excited about this part of the discussion. We had a lot of questions from our part 1 of this webinar about the service side of our industry and how suppliers are dealing with the pandemic right now, because they are the backbone of the design industry. However, the pandemic has created many obstacles in how we work with designers and homeowners. So I want to start with Carlotta. Can you talk about how this affects your operations?
Sure, thank you. Yes, so we've been open because as part of construction, we're deemed essential business. So on a very limited basis, we've been open. Basically, we're just very limited. We're at about 25% capacity in the building, our manufacturing facilities, and our installation crews can only go to certain job sites under certain parameters. So we're following all the guidelines and just, enforcing the social distancing, the cleanliness, the hygiene part. And we're really just at the mercy of that and how we manage getting whatever jobs we're required to deliver within those parameters. We have closed the facilities to visitors with the exception of just clients who are coming in with appointments. So we don't have our doors open for someone to just pop in. They do have to call. We go through a lot of the process ahead of time, selection, talking about what they could do, pricing, and then have them come in for selections in person.
Okay, all right. So a lot of changes, but still working productively. Danielle, can you share what you are discovering as you interact with your current client base and prospects right now?
Our clients have been very adaptable. We found that moving to a lot of Zoom showroom tours has been super helpful. We use a service called Spec Books where we can send people presentation binders so they can see different options. So we've really made a lot of quick changes that people have been very responsive to. We are starting to open our showrooms to traffic again on Monday, so we'll be having appointments only. There'll be some changes with that. We're going to try to limit them to 2 people per appointment, allow times in between appointments so the staff can clean. So there'll be some changes there too. And then just getting people used to the fact that there are different delays and things we see now. Some of our manufacturers operate in California where they're not actually allowed to produce product right now. So delays may, things that used to take 3 to 4 weeks now may take 16 plus weeks. So looking at different options, kind of working within people's expectations so that we can really provide them with what they need, but the options aren't as vast as they were before.
Okay, and that's understandable. Stephanie, you primarily work outside. How is the new norm affecting your business?
Well, we've been fortunate enough in the landscape industry to be working outside from the beginning, and we're able to control social distancing a lot more. Our crews are smaller in size. We've had a limited number of workers on sites, And it's constantly training our employees how to work safely with new rules and just making sure they're following all of our safety guidelines. We make sure we only have 2 employees maximum per vehicle, which can be very difficult at this time of year. I mean, landscape trucks are usually packed with workers, so that's really challenging. I'd say the most challenging is keeping ahead of communication and with the employees and our clients, making sure we provide them with the accurate information as soon as possible, and schedule is always really important. We haven't had any projects canceled completely, just a few commercial projects delayed due to being non-essential. And in our residential, we had a few clients that felt uneasy about starting their pool project, which isn't really an essential project right now during these uncertain times. But now that things have come down a bit in the last week with weather getting really nice, most of all our projects are back on schedule. And I would say, like, if the client has the economic means, they're most likely going to proceed with their project now or in the very near future. Otherwise, business is pretty good for us right now. We're spending a lot more time, people are spending a lot more time at home, focusing on things that they can control, like their backyard projects and their landscape maintenance. I mean, if anything, I would think that the situation is helping the landscape industry. We can't control much right now, but we can control what's happening in our homes.
Okay, that's good. That's good news. Pierre, what problems and solutions are you discovering with social distancing, especially in the showroom or at folks' homes?
So kind of the same thing as like Carlotta said, you know, our showroom is closed to the general public. We are taking appointment only visits to the showroom, and we're trying to keep everyone, you know, safe, you know, trying to practice that social distancing. We have sanitizer in the showroom. We disinfect doorknobs, bathrooms, countertops after meeting with a client. We're also supplying face masks if somebody doesn't have them. We have all the signage at the front door, you know, disinfect when you come in, a face mask is required. And we have a good sized showroom, you know, it's 6,000 square feet plus. So we're able to spread out, and if we have a couple of clients at a time, everybody can really feel safe and spread out, you know, without bumping into each other. We're also where our designers are stationed. We're setting up, you know, plastic splash guards, kind of like you see at a restaurant, at their desks, just to make them feel safe and the client when they come in. And, you know, also too on projects that we're working on, we're also taking a lot of those precautions and being sensitive to, you know, to the clients and their worries. So same thing, we're wearing masks, we're bringing, like, you know, one subcontractor in at a time to whatever jobs we're doing installations on, and just kind of making the client feel at ease. You know, that we're very cautious of this. It's not a joke. We're taking it seriously, and business is actually very good. You know, we're fortunate to have a great client base, and like everyone is saying, you know, they're in their homes, they're seeing things that need to be, you know, updated and fixed, and we're getting a lot of calls. And, you know, I'm myself personally making a lot of home visits, so the client doesn't have to come out of the house, and bringing them samples and stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah, I you know, on Wednesday when we had part 1 of the series, it does sound like clients are open to alternatives. There's a lot of open communication that has to take place to kind of help with clients' expectations, and but there are a lot of current alternatives, and as states start opening up more and more, things like shipping will improve, and we expect some pent-up demand from what's going on right now, which is good for our industry. This pandemic has forced homeowners to face design inefficiencies in their homes, as well as consider a potential new way of life after states start slowly opening again. What new needs do you see originating from the unique dilemma for homeowners in the design or renovations of their home. We'll go ahead and start with Pierre.
I feel like a lot of the clients, like you just said, just they're open to new things. The Zoom calls or FaceTime, you know, maybe bringing the sample more often than normal because they would usually come into the showroom. And there is a backlog on product. So, you know, we build in-house, and our factory did get shut down for 2 weeks, but we've reopened, and we have a little bit of a backlog, but all of our suppliers are actually open and working. So for us, I feel like we're in a good spot, and we can, you know, meet that demand. Like you said, as things start to open up again, I think it's going to be a little bit of a challenge to meet those demands.
Sure. Okay. And are you finding clients requesting new features in their home based on the new way that people are working from home remotely, children are home with them? Are you finding any new requests in the areas of kitchens?
In the kitchen area, not so much. But I have had a number of clients that have been kind of changing up their bathrooms. They feel like they want a little bit larger space. They want to separate, you know, like the vanities, and where you would have 2 in 1, now they're splitting them up, and they want to do a closet between them, and like kind of like a Jack and Jill bathroom. They're separating things. They want everything sleeker, no grooves, kind of just, I guess, easier to keep things more sanitary.
Okay. Okay. All right. Stephanie, are you seeing any new design needs with outdoor spaces?
Yes, I would say, you know, now that most people are spending more time at home and in their yard, it's more popular now than ever to create the indoor style living rooms to the outdoors. So creating outdoor gathering spaces for entertaining, it's much easier also for social distancing when needed outside. And despite the weather, entertaining, cooking, and gathering can all be enjoyed year round with outdoor kitchen grill stations, especially fire pits and fireplaces are really popular right now. And there's so many other options in technology today that can be incorporated into outdoor spaces, like outdoor TVs and sound systems that withstand the elements of all weather. And even mosquito preventative systems are very popular too. So to create longer times outside. The outdoor rooms are becoming more complex and sophisticated today too. You can have areas for adults and for kids in the backyard. Another popular item is sports courts or play courts of all sizes and either multifunctional for all sports and for all age kids. So I'd say, bottom line, homeowners, they want to enjoy their outdoor rooms as long as possible and through all the seasons.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. I think there's going to be even more of a call for that now.
Yeah.
Daniel, what are you finding?
We're seeing a lot of changes with people's bathroom requests. I think, like Pierre said, if you were working from home now and you are sharing open concept space, being able to have an escape to your bathroom has kind of become a new retreat. So we're seeing lots of people looking for that more spa-like bathroom, somewhere to really take a break. And like Pierre said, the clean finishes as well. We're also seeing people to start ask a little more about steam showers. A lot of health benefits that come with steam showers. If you have a cold or feeling stuffy, you can put your essential oils in your steam shower and really get the health benefits of that. We're seeing that in connection with home gyms. Well, people don't know, when it's going to be safe again to go to gyms. They want to expand their home workout offerings as well, and having a spa shower off that has been popular. We're also seeing an uptick in touchless faucets in the kitchen. People asking a little bit in the bath, but definitely more in the kitchen, which was starting to become popular anyways, as people, when you're cooking chicken and you don't want to touch the faucet. So having those options incorporated in your home has a lot of dual purposes there as well.
Okay. Okay. And Carlotta?
So, I mean, on our end, we're kind of with the finishes. So right now we haven't seen too many shifts in actual design needs, but we have had a lot of people inquiring about products that they can use on the stones, how to keep things disinfected. So we're just, that's kind of becoming more of a question, which it always has been. But can I use alcohol? Can I use bleach? All those things on the various stones that they're selecting. So we get more of that kind of shift, and people are thinking about that. And I think, like Stephanie said, there's so much of a shift to outside that we're seeing a lot of people asking about what can I use on countertops outside? What can I do? I want to create an outdoor living space, and it's New England, so you do have to think about the weather. So we have had more inquiries, which this is something that we've seen an uptick in anyways in the last couple of years, but recently, obviously, people are now thinking, wow, maybe that's where I invest my money now instead of, remodeling the kitchen or whatever. Maybe they're thinking, this may be something long-term I can entertain. I can maybe get back to normalcy a little bit quicker if I put that in, especially coming to the fact that we're in spring. We're all itching to get a little bit more normalcy. So that's one of the things we've seen.
Okay. All right. So there's a lot changing in folks' homes right now because of this pandemic. And the pandemic not only affects the way that we all do business, it also affects the way that we market our businesses. And so whether you're direct to the consumer or your trade and your B2B, right now people are reinventing how they're marketing themselves. This lends itself to give your company a competitive edge at a time like this. People need to know that you're open and available and the alternatives that you're using to work with one another. And so the message does need to change. As an example, a client of ours, Herrick & White, architectural woodwork firm, well known to some of you, they are strictly B2B, and they have started a virtual coffee chat on Zoom on Wednesdays and Fridays mornings, and they've invited everybody in the industry to discuss what's going on, just like we are here today, and how as the rules and regulations around COVID-19 changes, how do you adapt your business quickly? And so if anybody's interested, you can go to herrick-white.com, and they have a button at the bottom that says COVID-19, and you can click on that. There's more information if you want to join those Zoom-in calls. So this is a time to change the messaging. Danielle, you have some great videos you are posting on social right now that both designers and homeowners will find valuable. Can you talk more about that for us?
Yeah, I think we found as people are home, even if they're working from home, they need breaks, they need a sanity break, and it's a great time to push content out there. People have a little more time to watch that than they did before, so we've been trying to do videos from our showroom or our counter every day, talking about different vendors that we work with, products that people can integrate into their home, any changes in our operations. My cousin's currently redoing her bathroom, and I had to replace my water heater in the middle of this, so we were able to give people different perspectives on some things that are happening, things they can look forward to when they come back with us, and just try to put a smile on people's faces as they go forward there. So just something that when we also got so busy in the day-to-day before, it really was hard to make the time for that. And that's been a really concerted effort for us now to make sure that that's a daily part of everyone's day. And it gives our staff something to look forward to too, when they think it's something different that they can put out there or be engaged in as well.
So it's like a light at the end of the tunnel. So that's positive. Pierre, what type of messaging are you using and marketing moving forward?
So we're letting clients know, again, like it's safe to come to the showroom. We're doing all the precautions to go out to their homes. We're, willing to do some extra legwork, just to make them feel more comfortable, with using us and our services. We're advertising, on our website, on Instagram, that, we have masks, we have sanitizer, we're protecting people's homes when we're going to work. We're putting in these filter systems in the house that are like HEPA filters. So we're basically creating like a plastic tunnel in the room, and we're filtering it out. We're not going into the main part of the house when we're doing a cabinet install or something. And we're cleaning after ourselves like crazy, just sanitizing. And, we're also letting clients know that, everything that we do is made in the US. So it's local. We're not waiting on getting stuff from other countries that have been affected by this. And just taking all the precautions that everybody else is, and making the client feel comfortable. I think that's the biggest part of this, is just letting them know that we're aware of what's going on, and we're willing to do whatever we have to, to help them.
Okay. Now, I think that is very helpful. Before I move on to Carlotta and Stephanie, I just want to remind everybody we're getting close to the end of our panel discussion. And so if you have any questions for our panel, I want to invite you to go ahead and start entering those in now, and then we'll answer those shortly at the end of the discussion. Carlotta, can you add your thoughts on marketing?
Sure. So I've been relying a lot on digital marketing because it's the quickest way to communicate. And I think that with the situation being so fluid, where it's changing, at least for us, I feel like since this has started, the name of the game has been flexibility and being able to shift with whatever is getting thrown at us. So I've relied a lot on social media. First, I put anything out there. I like that stories can get the message out, but then also goes away, so that if something changes, someone's not getting old information. And then anything like that's more standard, we're putting as banner on our website, and sending out newsletters with major process changes. For us, because we're manufacturing, and also because we are a showroom, and because we're also an installer, we have like 3 different things that we fall into. And so the message that I've been sending out has had to kind of just be broad and just asking for flexibility. And this is what we're doing as of today, and it may change tomorrow. And I find that that's been the most successful type of marketing media that for me, digital and social media.
Okay, great. And Stephanie, any changes with how you are promoting your business?
Yeah, so in our garden service division, we install many seasonal decor planters for most of our clients. So during this pandemic, we've started an online ordering of our seasonal planters, which going online eliminates meeting with clients on site, which is safer for the clients and our gardeners, and it's more time efficient actually for all of us. Our online program, it allows clients to select if they would like to purchase a new planter, or if they want us to plant their existing planters that they have at their home. They can choose from a selection of planters from our portfolio, and then they'd select from our inspirational gallery what they'd like to have in their planters, where they can also select specific plants, textures, color schemes. And in this online program, we include the material, labor, and delivery all in one price to be purchased online. So not only will this help with keeping our clients and gardeners safe, but it will also be very efficient for us with ordering the materials and cutting back on shopping time. So there's a savings to the client as well there. The planters are still custom, but the selections are online versus in person. And they're available all season, and they'll change as the seasons change too. So that's been, successful for us.
Well, and it cuts down on the interaction that you have to have face-to-face with the homeowner too.
Exactly.
So wonderful. Okay. Well, what I love hearing is all the alternatives that you all have been able to put into place. considering how quickly we all needed to adapt. It sounds like your client base is open and flexible as well, and that there's still a need in this industry for additional changes, new construction, renovation. So the good news is this industry is moving forward. I'd like to turn it back over to Kathy at this point, and again, we'll open it up now for Q&A. So if you have a question, if you want to add it to the Q&A, we did have some questions submitted before. So while you're looking those up, there's Adam. Hi, Adam. While we're looking those up.
I'm going to kill him.
Somebody was going to Zoom bomb us.
Sorry. So Jen, do you want me to read some of the questions I have?
That would be great, yes.
All right. Let's see. A lot of these we have answered already, but what do you see as phases for this industry to start back? Like what, I mean, obviously in Massachusetts, the governor hasn't really told us anything yet, but what are you guys feeling is going to happen specifically as it relates to your firms as far as coming back and opening?
I think we just have to take it like, I don't want to say day by day, but pretty much maybe week by week, and just kind of see like, you know, what's going on, what numbers there are out there, what the governor is saying can open. I know for us, we're going to take it kind of slow because we do want to be safe and we want everyone to feel secure. But I think as like the weeks progress, I think people are going to get a little bit more comfortable, you know, with coming out and visiting everybody in their showrooms and, you know, places of work. And, but I think we just have to, you know, keep in mind that, you know, this isn't really, this is not a joke. It's something serious. It's not worth somebody getting sick because of not wearing a mask or keeping that social distancing. So I think just, you know, week by week, and just hopefully all the numbers go down of the COVID cases, and hopefully back to, you know, normal life, I guess, as it was before this.
Thank you. Anyone else want to add to that? Not, I have a lot more questions. Let's see. Here's another one. How frequently are you guys communicating with your customers?
I can take that one. We are communicating with our customers, I think, every day. I mean, we have a very large client base that consists of architects, designers, homeowners, plumbers. So really trying to stay on top of everybody. We have a dedicated outside sales team that's now been inside. So they're communicating with them every day. And I think it's learning how our clients want to communicate. Some of them are email guys. Some of them are text guys. People before who wanted appointments and wanted you in their offices do not want you in there now. So finding out how they're changing too and how they're adapting to that so that we can learn who wants to be communicated in what kind of ways. But we're definitely trying to put out updates basically on a daily basis. And I think as far as major updates, when there are major policy changes or when the governor introduces something larger, that we're trying to put out our response to that, you know, within not a couple hours, but at least within a day of, you know, evaluating what they said, what is the new direction, and letting our clients know so that they have some time to prepare and adjust to how we're changing our operations as well.
Good, great. Here's another one someone can answer. It says, I'm a small custom furniture maker in suburban Boston. Given we can't meet face-to-face or exhibit at shows, what would be an effective way to meet new designers during this time?
I think maybe phone calls, email, FaceTime, you know, reaching out to some of us to see how we can network and use each other, you know, to serve the clients better. I know way back when I started, I would go knock on doors and make phone calls and cold calls just to introduce myself and my work. And that went a long way for me. So I think, you know, with today's, generation, a Zoom call or FaceTime, I think would go a long way with introducing yourself with your work to designers and clients.
That's great. And I've had several clients of New England Home actually call and, ask us that I know they're rifling through the magazine, getting lists of people they want to speak to. One guy was a landscape lighting contractor, and he was trying to get in touch with all the landscape construction people right now. So that's the best thing you can do. Like you say, pick up the phone and email and reach out the best way you can. I have another question, another comment and a question. Everyone seems to agree that high-end residential will be very strong as we emerge from the pandemic, which is very inspiring. This is from Audio Video Design. We're getting lots of calls for home electronics upgrades and new outdoor systems. Are we also optimistic that the pandemic-related restrictions won't slow us down so much that we'll have trouble keeping our staffs busy? Do you feel you've got the work basically to keep everybody busy as things start moving again?
Go ahead, Stephanie.
I think that, like what I was discussing earlier with the outdoor rooms, I do think that it's going to continue to get busier. I feel like our spring is almost moving into our summer. So like I said earlier, I think if people have the economic means to build these projects, they will still do them. So it only seems that it would get busier.
Yeah, and as Sean Cote mentioned on Wednesday, more people are transitioning home and are going to stay home after this. The work from home or working remotely is a way that businesses have discovered that they can start saving money, and their clients their employees are much more effective. And so that transition to home is going to be huge after this, and there is that technological need.
Okay, and then another question is there anything any way did you want to speak, Danielle? I'm sorry.
Oh, no, that's okay. I was just going to say that quickly that there's also, we've seen like a shift in budgets, that if you had budgeted for a couple weeks vacation this summer and you were going away and now you're not, the summer camp bills aren't there like they were going to be. So I think in that higher end market, people are able to kind of shift their budgets to other projects what they thought they might have been spending that money elsewhere before.
Good point. Like all those trips to Italy we were talking about before we got started. Yes. And then I had another one. In what ways how you've adapted your business currently might you keep going forward once restrictions are lifted? For example, will you have staff that you'll let work from home more often, or will you do more meetings remotely, that type of thing?
I think the meetings remotely are great because they actually save you a lot of time and travel time and traffic. And, it's I think before people want to see you face to face, but I think it's going to be a little bit more acceptable to do these calls with video chats and actually be more efficient.
Very true. Anyone else?
For us, like we've always been reluctant to put our inventory online because it changes so much. And also we just always feel that the stone never comes through, and we wouldn't want someone to be deterred by not finding what they liked online. We want to bring people in to see it in person because it's just a very different experience. But with this situation, we've had to switch our thought process and make more of the things available digitally, like our inventory, and do a lot of the front end prior to a visit. And I think that's something we'll probably try to integrate more. We'll keep the website, with our inventory, always communicating with our clients that if they're really looking for something special, they should come in when things settle, with an appointment and all the processes. But it's definitely forced us to adapt to things that we weren't doing before. And we'll probably, we've learned that, it's actually more efficient and effective. So for us, that's been a big, nice change.
I would miss coming in and looking at all the gorgeous stone.
Well, if you look at the pictures online, don't do it any justice, right. Which is why we've always struggled with this. And even today, like as we're navigating through, how do we sell? How do we get that sale? doing it this way, you know, it's like you're just trying to balance the things, and like everyone's been saying, it's about being fluid and everything's changing. Like this week it's one way, next week might be different, the week after that's going to be different again, and we're just adjusting. That's been the one thing I've said from day one. Be flexible and accept that we're going to be changing and adjusting, and you know, and I like that approach, and I hope that it's something that we learn from this. It's not always black and white, or you can't always plan A, B, C, D and execute, you know, and that's a nice, you know, something to get used to, I guess.
Yes, and that's a good segue to our last question. Someone's asking, what are New England Homes' next steps in keeping the industry connected? Will we be offering more of these types of webinars? What about, we have some major events scheduled in the fall, and as Carlotta said, you have to be flexible. So we've already, for example, taken our Luxury Home Design Summit that was scheduled for May. Now we have a date in the beginning of October. We're also looking at changing our 540 event, which will probably happen later in the fall, because September might be a little too soon to have all those people at an event. So we're doing the same thing, being flexible, talking to our various providers and seeing what we can do. So, and then I have one last question, sorry, it just popped up. It says, for older people who may be compromised, has anyone thought about offering special hours like they do at the grocery stores? You know, you get to come in at a separate time, although I'm guessing your appointments are scheduled anyway, so it doesn't, you're limiting the number of people already. So I don't know if that would actually be a concern. And that's all the questions I have. So we got through it all. Jen, did you have anything else? Do you want to wrap this up? Sorry, you're muted.
There we go. I just want to thank everybody for taking the time to join us. This is an idea that Jill Cork had a couple weeks ago, and recognized the need in the industry to come together and explore some of these ideas. So I'm very thankful that New England Home came and brought us all together under this circumstance. And I think that we just have to continue to share knowledge. And as we've all said, Wednesday and today, just continue to be flexible, but know that the business or our industry is doing well. And as we get through these earlier months, we'll start seeing some of that pent-up demand come out. So, but thank you everybody for joining us today. And the recording of this is going to be on New England Homes website under News and Design Dialogue.
Correct.
Wednesday's webinar was recorded and is there as well if you would like to see that, but you'll see this one by Monday afternoon on the website. So thank you. Thank you, Karen.
Thanks, everybody. Good to see you. Have
Guys.
a good weekend. Bye-bye.